In the sprawling universe of The Big Bang Theory and its Southern-flavored prequel Young Sheldon, no character is left untouched by the gravitational pull of continuity. One of the most intriguing, and now, possibly spoiled, subplots is the unexpected marriage between Georgie Cooper and Mandy McAllister. As Young Sheldon explores the younger lives of the Cooper family, fans are beginning to stitch together clues from both series. And the biggest culprit in possibly spoiling the outcome of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, The Big Bang Theory itself. When Young Sheldon first introduced Mandy, she seemed like a temporary plotline, a way to bring out new shades in Georgie's rebellious personality. But things quickly escalated. A surprise pregnancy turned into a tender and complex relationship, and before long, Georgie and Mandy tied the knot in a charming, if not hasty, marriage. For Young Sheldon fans, it felt like a major character arc in the making. Yet anyone who's spent time with the adult Sheldon Cooper in The Big Bang Theory already has access to a wealth of future knowledge, and therein lies the problem. Continuity is both a gift and a curse. Sheldon isn't exactly known for his warmth, but he does share snippets about his family throughout the 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory. He often references his siblings with a mixture of contempt and reluctant admiration. Missy, for instance, is described as reckless and brash but clearly loved. Georgie, meanwhile, is frequently portrayed as someone who made it big in the tire business but didn't have much academic prowess. Notably, Sheldon never explicitly mentions Georgie's wife or ex-wife, let alone a Mandy. That silence is louder than any punchline. This absence hints at several creative possibilities and potential outcomes for Georgie and Mandy's subplot. From a narrative perspective, the writers of Young Sheldon are walking a tightrope. They must stay true to the canon established in The Big Bang Theory, but they also want to forge compelling, emotionally satisfying arcs for their characters. As a result, fans have begun speculating that Georgie and Mandy's marriage may not last. After all, The Big Bang Theory makes no mention of a first marriage or a long-standing spouse. It's possible that the marriage ends in divorce, not out of animosity but from natural differences in maturity, ambition, or life direction. This theory is supported by the framing of Young Sheldon. Georgie is still growing, emotionally, financially, and personally. Mandy, on the other hand, already seems more grounded. The show has painted her as a woman who was caught off guard by life, but who adapts quickly and pragmatically. Their relationship is sweet, but not without strain. Georgie's desire to step up and be a provider contrasts with his occasional immaturity, while Mandy has moments where her patience wears thin. These realistic portrayals suggest that their journey is far from a fairy tale, and that perhaps the marriage serves more as a stepping stone in Georgie's larger arc than a happily ever after. And this is where The Big Bang Theory becomes both a narrative roadmap and a spoiler minefield. If Georgie is successful and single by the time Sheldon becomes a theoretical physicist in Pasadena, it raises questions about how his early adult life unfolds. Did he and Mandy part ways amicably, perhaps co-parenting while pursuing different paths? Or did something more dramatic unfold? Something that reshaped Georgie into the independent businessman we see referenced in The Parent Show? Fans are especially intrigued by Sheldon's comment in The Big Bang Theory that his brother runs a lucrative chain of tire stores in Texas, and that he's not completely stupid. This backhanded compliment suggests growth and success, but also a sense of distance. Perhaps the showrunners of Young Sheldon will lean into this idea, that Georgie's first marriage, while formative, ends before his real career takes off. Mandy may serve as the catalyst for his evolution, a mirror reflecting what he could be if he embraces responsibility. If the marriage ends, it doesn't have to be tragic, it could be bittersweet, showing that sometimes people grow apart after serving a critical purpose in each other's lives. However, there's also the wildcard. What if The Big Bang Theory didn't spoil anything at all? In the chaotic timelines of television universes, silence doesn't always equal absence. It's entirely plausible that Georgie is still married to Mandy by the time Sheldon is an adult. Sheldon may just choose never to mention her. Given his personality, this wouldn't be surprising. He often centers himself in conversations and leaves out inconvenient details. It's not hard to imagine Sheldon neglecting to mention his sister-in-law because she doesn't directly influence his life. In this scenario, Young Sheldon could chart a happily ever after arc for Georgie and Mandy without violating canon. Perhaps they face challenges, even separate for a time, but eventually find a way back to each other, demonstrating that growth doesn't always mean letting go. This possibility opens up another layer of creative opportunity. Young Sheldon could reframe Georgie as someone who matures not just through success, but through love, fatherhood, and enduring partnership. In a universe where many sitcoms use failed relationships for cheap laughs, young Sheldon has the chance to do something rare. Show a young couple, flawed and uncertain, who find a way to make it work. That would be a surprising twist, especially in light of how The Big Bang Theory seems to set up an alternate future. In the end, whether or not The Big Bang Theory has spoiled Georgie and Mandy's fate depends on how much the creators of young Sheldon want to color inside the lines. Canon can be bent, if not broken, and character memory is notoriously selective. Just because something wasn't mentioned doesn't mean it didn't happen. The marriage subplot may serve as a launchpad for Georgie's emotional growth, whether it ends in enduring love or respectful separation. Either way, fans will keep watching, not just to see what happens, but to understand how the past shapes the future. Because in this television universe, every quip, every flashback, and every quiet omission tells a story. And sometimes, the most powerful drama unfolds not in what's said, but in what's left unsaid. Let me know if you'd like a more analytical or humorous version.